It's time to go all in on winning and losing. Really interesting way to think about it. We're going to talk about that today. Phillies, Eagles, Sixers. Should they go all in and embrace their situation that they are in? Throw the Flyers in there too. It's Masters week. I got my Masters Champions dinner ready. We're going to talk about that as well. Trending in the AM. We're live, taking your thoughts and opinions. 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure you head on over to the STT Sports Network YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. 16 away from 500 subscribers. Please help me out. Find a few friends, find some people, get them to subscribe. We got to get this thing going. I do this show for the people. So the people need to reward me by sharing this out and having more people find this great show, guys. I'd greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys doing that for me. And we got a jam-packed show today. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. It is Masters Week, so another day, another green jacket wearing. Normally, I only wear the jacket once a year. I'm choosing to wear it the entire year, the entire week this year. So we're tight in this jacket. Yes, Kylie, I did win the Masters. Well, there's 3 ways you get this jacket, Kylie. Good morning to you. There's 3 ways you get a Masters green jacket. 1, the most difficult way is to win the Masters. B, to steal it from somebody that won the Masters. Or C, get it off of Temu. It's up to you to decide where you get your green jacket. But this is my green jacket that is more like a 3/4 sleeve jacket. What's up, Kylie? Hope you're doing well. Doing great covering the Phillies as always, my girl. So great to see you. Great to see you in the comments. So the comment, the question, the topic to kick off the show today, and Kylie, if you like the Masters, stay tuned. My Masters dinner menu for the champions, because I have a green jacket, I'm a champion, has been released. We're going to break down my 5-course dinner for the Masters champion that I would serve. My topic, my question, my idea today is it's time to go all in on winning and losing for the Eagles, the Phillies, the Sixers. All in. Embrace where your franchise is right now and do whatever it takes to win a championship again or take those 100 steps back so eventually they can win a championship again. For the Philadelphia Eagles is going all in, trading up, making sure you grab an impactful player earlier than 32 in the draft. Going all in for the Phillies, fixing their bullpen, maybe moving on from Alec Bohm, shaking things up. I know 7-2, but getting whatever pieces are necessary to guarantee you the best chance possible to win a World Series. Going all in for the Sixers. 3 games left of this dreadful season. Going all in would be moving on from Embiid, moving on from Paul George, getting rid of Daryl Morey, getting rid of Nick Nurse. Hey, considering even Tyrese Maxey, taking whatever steps are necessary to reboot the franchise. Let's go all in with each of our teams to ensure we get to the goal that we want. And all our teams in our city are at different points of their journey. The Eagles coming out of a championship, looking to defend their championship. The Phillies have been so close, but yet haven't completed the job. The Sixers, we thought we were there, but now they're so far from there. Is it time to just start again? This thought process of going all in is stemming mainly from the winning, the Eagles and the Phillies, and less so to do with the Sixers. This going all in is a philosophy or a mindset that, while the Eagles and Howie Roseman are always thinking big picture, along with the immediate picture, that how often do you get teams, Phillies and the Eagles, that have this much talent on it that can win not just one but multiple championships? And you need to worry about the future in the future and worry about the now. Now, this Eagles team is returning 17, 18 starters on it. This Philadelphia Eagles team is poised to make a deep run again. But trading out of pick 32 and trading back into the second round of the draft, what's that really going to do? Acquire more assets for the future. Is that really what we want? Is that what we really need? More future assets? No. What the Eagles need is an impactful player to replace some of the players that we lost, whether it's defensive end, defensive tackle, tight end, to make the rich even richer. So the question is, would you be willing? I mean, we got 12 picks next year already. We got a whole bunch this year. Trading a boatload of picks to move up, to make sure you get one of the top edge rushers in this draft class, to make sure you get the top defensive tackle to pair next to Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter, to go out and get Tyler Warren, which is a pipe dream. But do you go all in to make those moves? With the Phillies going all in, obviously, the bullpen is a major concern for this Phillies team. Alec Boehm and Brandon Marsh, the daycare, the don't call me daycare, is a major concern at this point. They're going to win a lot of games. We've talked about that countless times. Do you go and say, well, winning 95 games is not enough. We need to win a World Series. Where are our weaknesses? Let's attack them. We've got a chance. And it's early in the baseball season. So you're not making big trades right now. But this is just a theory. Is it important that our teams go all in? Is it important for the Sixers to go all in a losing mindset? Is it important for them to go and say, this team is a disaster? This team is not a quick fix away. And make the drastic moves necessary. So yeah, take some steps backwards, but ultimately step forward. Because you're not fixing the Sixers team overnight. Not even close. So do you want the team to go all in? And when I think about it first with the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL draft that is right here in front of us. That is moments. We're 15 days, 16 days away from the NFL draft. The 24th, I believe, is when the NFL draft starts. The first team that has a chance to make an all-in type of move is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't know who that player is that I'm talking about. I don't know what move I want them to make specifically. I am open to ideas. They're not going to be able to trade up and get Abdul Carter, obviously. That's not something I'm hinting at. Sitting at 32, moving up 15 spots even, is a costly endeavor. Obviously. Big House, first comment of the day on YouTube. The Eagles have shown they can make moves anywhere on the board. Yeah. And Howie has shown that he's not afraid to make big, bold moves. I'm just bringing up this all-in idea because everyone just assumes that the Eagles are staying put at 32 or more than likely trading out of the first round. When was the last time? Maybe 2018's draft. The last time Howie Roseman was conservative in the NFL draft. That's just not him. So that leads me to believe that Howie does not like being conservative. Howie prefers to be aggressive. We want to win back-to-back Super Bowls for the very first time. So how do you do that? You give yourself the best. We don't need 12 draft picks in 2025. What we need is another elite defensive playmaker or an elite right guard to solidify this offense right now. There isn't an all-in kind of player for the Eagles in the first round this year. Not even moving up into like the top, say, 14 or 15, like really leveraging it, going up if Tyler Warren falls to 12 and moving up 20 spots. When I'm saying all in, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going and getting Sanders, one of the top edge guys. I'm talking about going up and getting the best of the best in this draft. I'm not talking about moving from 32 to 28. Good morning, Doc. Sixers should just let it all go and rebuild the crap show. Eagles will make moves. We don't need all in until we evaluate what this team has. I think we know what this Eagles team has. First. I think the only team that can't go all in at this point is the Phillies because we don't know what the Phillies have. But the Sixers should go all in. Absolutely. I would hate it. I would cry. But I would even consider moving on from Tyrese Maxey at this point. Just because by the time the Sixers are good again, he's going to be 27 already. The Sixers are so far from contention. In the NBA, it's so hard to rebuild quickly. In football, you can retool really quickly. In baseball, just spend a lot of money and you're done. You're fixed. Basketball takes so much. So at this point, it's better off to just strip it down and start over again. Abdul Carter, yes, but he's going top 3. Just so you know, were the Patriots 3rd or 4th overall in the draft? The Patriots are 4th. I did a mock draft the other day just for shits and giggles. I only have PFN, so I can't trade other than 2026 picks. I traded literally all but 1 pick this year and 1 pick next year. Moved up to 4, and I've got Abdul Carter. So we basically ended up with like pick 4 and 164 this year, and like pick like 180 next year. And that's it. Whatever it was. So it's doable. Do the Eagles honestly need to trade up though? That's a fair question, and that's what that's a great counter to it. Do they need to? Well, let's examine what the holes on this team are. Peanut, and guys, make sure you click on Peanut's page, hit subscribe. His son and him do great work. I saw you post something new last night or today. Didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I will. There's also a link down in the description to subscribe to Pixelated History, guys. What are the holes this Eagles team has? Defensive tackle, which is a rotation. Edge, they've got some projects, but they don't have elite edge play. Well, they got Nolan Smith and Jelks on. Maybe linebacker, if N'Kobe Dean, but not. That's just a depth piece. Safety, starting safety is an issue. Starting cornerback is a question. Starting right guard is a question. Going out and getting the best defensive lineman in the draft after Abdul Carter. Going out and getting somebody with pick 10 through 15 that's going to come in and make an immediate impact. Do you need to? Do you need to go get Starks at safety so we don't have the question of Sidney Brown? Maybe. Do we need to go out and get a starting outside corner to pair with Quinion and Cooper? I don't think they need to jump 10 spots to make a splash. I don't think moving up 5 spots brings you the same impact that moving up 10, 15 spots brings you. Howie's calculated patience has done well for him recently. He's calculated, but he's calculatedly aggressive. Howie's not afraid to mortgage when he really likes somebody. And that's the thing. I don't know the real true value of some of these prospects this year. The strength of this draft is day 2. And I've heard a lot of people say that. And that's why people are so dead set on trading back out of the first round. But again, last time we had picked 32, 2018, we traded with the Ravens. The Ravens jumped up to get Lamar Jackson. You got Dart and you got Milroe, who one of them might still be there available at 32. And somebody might want to trade up and give you extra second-round pick for it. When we did this deal with the Ravens, we got pick 150. We got pick 52 and 125, plus a second-round pick the following year that turned into pick 53. Basically, the last time we had picked 32, it netted us Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, and Avonte Maddox. All good players that played roles on this team. Multiple Super Bowl appearances for some of those guys. So do you want pick 32? Do you want to trade up for an impactful player? Or do you want to trade back for 3 valuable pieces that will contribute, but not right away? Because, honestly, Avonte Maddox is the one that contributed right away the most, probably. What's up, Little G? Good morning to you. Hope you are well. I'd much rather trade back, get Mason Taylor, and another need. Again, and that's fine. And I assume, like most, that is probably what's going to happen. The question still remains. You've got a Super Bowl window that's wide open. You got a big target on your back. Maybe going all in and going up and getting the next best player after Abdul Carter for that defensive line is a smart move. Getting yourself 3 developmental pieces that might contribute a little in 2025 versus going out and getting a guy that's going to immediately impact your defense or offense in 2025. It's a question. I don't think there's much difference between the top 10 and a guy at 32. Well, that's part of the question. And again, I'm starting to learn a little bit about these guys over the last couple of weeks. I'm seeing the guys that the Eagles are bringing in, 18 of their top 30, so far, and 14 of the 18 have been linemen, offensive and defensive linemen. Only 1 running back's come in, 3 cornerbacks, 3 interior defensive line, 4 edge rushers, and 7 offensive linemen brought in so far. So based off of that, yes, they're more likely to trade back and get multiple depth pieces. But what if? They're a good edge in the second round. They're a good edge in the second round. But there's better edges in that 10 through 15 range, isn't there? Just saying. You can get good safety. We get a lot of good players in the second and third round. Sure. We can. Can we get a great player in the first? What's up, TMZ? Good morning to you. That's right. Please hit that like. Please hit that share. Please hit that subscribe button. There are good running backs, good secondary, and a few good edge and defensive tackles. Strong O-line for you. The problem is, again, because other than the top 2 or 3 of the position, the drop isn't that far. The plateau is long into the 5th round. And that seems to be the general consensus from a lot of people, Doug. It does. And I get that. And I don't watch a lot of college ball. About April, mid-March, early April, I start watching tape and film. I start running mock drafts 20 times a day to just get a feel. I start reading articles and stuff like that. So I see a lot of reports. But there's also, hear me out, a lot of people feel this way about the draft. If there is a guy that Howie really likes, a guy that Howie really thinks can make a major difference, immediately, just make the name Starks because people talk about safety, okay? Everyone feels there's a lot of depth in this draft. So maybe it wouldn't cost as much to move up 10 spots as you would think, 12 spots as you would think. It's going to cost a lot, but it might not cost you the whole future. Trading from 32 to 50, trading back in 2018, we got 2 seconds and a 4th. What's it going to cost you to move up 10 spots normally versus this year? Maybe not as much. Does 32 and 64 get you up? I don't know. Kenny Grant is a guy you might be able to get at 32 and can make an instant impact in his rookie year. Maybe. What's up, Rick? How you doing? Hope you're feeling better, my man. Like any draft, there are 2 or 3 great edges. We need an edge. Go get the best. Bad wide receiver draft, well, we really don't need wide receivers. Although I would say that there's an argument to be made for a wide receiver, but later in the draft, go get your defensive tackle. That's where I'm at. I want a new defensive tackle. If I sit and watch the entire first round just so I could trade back 5 minutes before the pick is in, I'm having choice words. Yeah, I guarantee you we will not be doing a train in the AM on Friday morning. There's no way I'm staying up till the end of draft night to see that happen, to wake up and talk about it. Just not going to happen. Mason Taylor would be a great replacement for Dallas Goedert. There's also that aspect of it. We don't just have a lot of draft picks to trade in our cupboard. We have Dallas Goedert. That could be had in these trade packages. There's Jordan Davis. That could be had in these trade packages. We have players we can move. And what I'm talking about is not risking the future for maybe this or that. I'm talking about risking the future to help ensure another Super Bowl opportunity. The whole point of this is to guarantee us or give us the best chance to get another Super Bowl ring. Same thing with the Phillies. Another chance, the best opportunity possible to get a World Series. Mortgaging one of those stars in the minors. The Sixers. Trading whatever we got to do to get out of these bad contracts so we can start fresh. All in. All in. To winning and losing. And the losing is to eventually win. Kenny Grant. Awesome. I'd be happy with him at 32. All in for the next Kenny G on the roster. Well, that's the thing. What would K1 do? Would K1 switch his love affair from one Kenny G to another? I don't know. I would have to ask K1 that specifically. Does Dallas have any real trade value? How many spots does he earn you? I don't know. I mean, with the contracts that tight ends are being given this offseason, Trey McBride, Juwan Johnson, just to name a few, Evan Ingram, you got to think there's some value there. Not much. If you're just trading Dallas Goedert straight up for a draft pick, he'd be worth a 5th, maybe with a condition to a 4th, maximum. So how much does a 5th round pick add to a trade package? Now, Jordan Davis, on the other hand, you trade him, you're getting 2 years of Jordan Davis if the other team would pick up his 5th-year option to really figure out if you can unlock Jordan Davis. Maybe Jordan Davis is worth a 3rd in value, so to speak, in a trade. Whatever that. I know there's a site that puts value, numerical values on draft picks. So maybe that. 4 or 5 players you cope as good, they are disappointing. You can move. Example, Jordan Davis. Yeah, again, Jordan Davis is movable more for the situation he's in than whether he's a good player or not. The washing machine must have shrunk your green blazer. Doesn't fit you the same. This jacket never fit me. It was never meant to fit me. But, that's what happens when you steal it from Happy on the 18th green, You get Happy size, not your size. All right? It's Masters Weeks, mister. Come on. Fairway to Heaven Masters Edition tonight, 6 p.m. Talking who's winning this year's green jacket and why it's going to be Colin Morikawa. Good morning, Adam. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Make sure everyone's hitting that like button. Make sure everybody's hitting that subscribe button. Make sure everybody's hitting that share button. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go. Let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep this party moving along. And it's not just all about going all in with the Eagles. The Phillies are included in this conversation. I'm tired of playoff exits. I want a World Series. Now, I know there's issues in center field, issues in the infield. So maybe Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford are not tradable at this point. But maybe they are. I'm making hot takes and big ideas to ensure a championship. The feeling is mutual between the show and you, all right? Because the show hates you as well. Hot take: Do they trade Jordan Davis for real value, or they don't think they will extend him? I think they are trying to trade him, and that is why you've seen a lot of teams pick up the fifth-year options or decline them already for him from his draft class. Big Al. I think they are trying to find a trade partner to take him. His real value, I don't know. It could be a third. It could be a seventh. It could be all over the place. When Jordan Davis plays on the field, he is a destructive force, but he only plays so much. So what value does he have? I don't know. But I think they're trying to move him. I don't think they're definitely not picking up his fifth-year option. They're trying to trade him / get him a very cheap extension. That's, in my opinion, what they're doing. Is his value a third? Is it a seventh? Is it somewhere in between? Honestly, I have no idea. Good morning, Joe. How you doing? Got to make sure I tune in tonight. Need 2 Americans and 2 internationals to pick for my Masters pool. Well, Colin Morikawa has to be one of them. All right? Has to be one of them. Oh, I got some other names, too. All right? I do. So you got to tune in tonight. Ask this question tonight. And we'll give you some non-chalky picks. I got 3 bets, 3 outrights of 120-1 or longer. Now, most likely they don't win because long shots don't win the Masters. But I know they're going to contend. So I can give you 3 long shot names. But you got to tune in tonight. But Colin Morikawa has to be, because Colin Morikawa is winning that. 40% of the money I bet this week is all on Colin Morikawa. What's up, relaunch? Anyone with a singer could make that jacket too. Yeah, you know, there's a story behind the jacket. It's a golf story. But you know what? It's all good. Makes me feel special Masters week. I get to crack it out, dust the dust off of it, get the stench that sits in the back of the closet, air it out a little bit. I think Aiden Miller replaces Bohm next year. Untradeable. You watch a little bit more. You know a little bit more about the minors, Big Al, than me. Can Aiden Miller play third base? Because what I think the Phillies have is they got 3 second base / shortstops in Stott, Turner, and Aiden Miller. And I'm not sure. We brought this up briefly yesterday. I'm not sure which one is best suited to play third base. I thought Miller was a shortstop or a second baseman, not a third baseman. And Justin Crawford's always been my untouchable to it. Nobody's untouchable. How I suggested trading Painter 2 years ago. You know, so that's fine. There's no such thing as untouchable. But Justin Crawford's been the one that I've been attached to as my next big thing in Philly for a long time. Over Aiden Miller. I think Al is right about Miller being Bohm's replacement. But this is where I'm talking about going all in. Can you win a World Series with Alec Bohm as your everyday starting third baseman? Probably not. I know he's older, more expensive, but there were opportunities potentially to go get Nolan Arenado this offseason. They chose not to do it. And it's early to make a big, bold trade now. We're only 9 games into the season. But 9 games in, we can see that there's bullpen weaknesses, and we can see that there's a third base problem and a center field problem. According to the Phillies, Miller and Crawford aren't ready. So what do? Go swing for the fences. As soon as you're ready to, you swing for the fences and get whoever the best third baseman, center fielder, and closer is available on the market. Now, those guys aren't available in April. I get that. But the thought process of going all in, protecting 1 or 2 of your prospects, but maybe moving one of your top prospects to ensure you the best opportunity possible to be set to win a World Series this year has to be on the table. He's played some third base, but spot starts. That's what I thought. So the question then on that is if Alec Bohm is not here at the end of this season or after this season, and you got Stott, Miller, and Turner, who has the most fundamentally sound game to play third base. I don't think Stott could do it. I'm pretty sure Turner's not even able to play shortstop, let alone third base. So you got to hope that Miller's getting a lot of reps this year down there at third base. Fairway to Heaven is where the capos smoke expensive cigars and play high-stakes poker in the Bada Bing VIP room. I would love to host Fairway to Heaven one day from the Bada Bing VIP room. This year's mid-season trade deadline will be much more active for the Phillies. Well, that's what this thing is. How all in, Rick? I know you predict this team to win a World Series, but I think they're fundamentally missing one or two pieces. And I think that the Phillies are in a position to make that move. Okay, you don't want to trade Miller? Then maybe Crawford's got to go. You don't want to trade Crawford? Well, maybe Miller's got to go. You got to find a way to bring in an elite bat for the playoffs and an elite closer. Oh, I know you are. It's damn ugly. It's even uglier like yesterday when I had a red shirt underneath it and everybody criticized me for making it too Christmassy on the screen with the red and green. So, yeah. Oh, it's ugly. And it don't fit. That is for sure. Phillies World Series champions in 2025. As stands, I don't think they're there. As stands, I think they're really damn close. But they're missing something. What if a Nolan Arenado instead of Alec Bohm? Giving me more confidence. I know he's a much older player, much more expensive player, etc. But maybe. Would have upgrading center field made me feel better. Maybe. Would have having a closer for real closer made me feel better. Maybe. What's holding me back? I think the story that's been told the last 2 years hasn't changed, Rick. This is the same team that came up short last year. The same team that came up short the year before that. They haven't made any drastic changes. They're walking a little bit more, sure. They're still striking out with the bases loaded. Way too much. That's all it is. They were red hot to start the year last year. And then after London, we're a 500 baseball team. Why is this year going to be different with the same team? That's it. I know I'm a big guy, but I am definitely not everybody. The same story the Eagles told. No, the Eagles story was different, honestly. The Eagles story, Rick, is not as comparable as you think. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl and lost. Just like the Phillies went to the World Series and lost. The Phillies have now come up short twice since then. The Eagles only came up short once. Okay? And after the Eagles came up short, Rick, what did the Eagles do? They made drastic changes. They got rid of Slay and Bradbury. Well, they got rid of Bradbury. They upgraded their cornerbacks. They got rid of two of their coordinators. The Phillies brought everybody back. The Phillies kept Kevin Long, Rob Thompson, whatever it may be. The Eagles brought in Saquon Barkley, a difference maker. The Phillies brought in Corky Romano. So these similar paths that the Eagles and Phillies supposedly have, according to you, Rick, are not as similar, outside of the fact that in 2022, both teams lost in their respective championships. That's the only similar path. The Eagles make adjustments. The Phillies run it back. But I'm okay with the Phillies running it back if they make an all-in move in the next 2 months to bring in an elite player to shake it up a little bit. I'm willing to do that. Eagles and Phillies are running on parallel lines. No, they're not. The Eagles and Phillies are far from. Who was this year's Saquon Barkley that's turning it around for the Phillies? Who is this year's Kellen Moore that's turning it around for the Phillies? Who's this year's Vic Fangio that's turning it around for the Phillies? Who's this year's Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean putting in that youthful energy into the Phillies. Who's this year's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? Okay? So I go on. The Phillies stayed the same. The Eagles made changes because they didn't want to fail like they did in 2013. So you're banking all your, it's their turn. You got to earn it. It's not just their turn. The Phillies didn't make changes. But I want them to make changes because I want them to win. They have the core foundation here. They need tweaks. They need a closer. They need another hit batter that's going to hit better. You're blindly thinking about this. You're blindly comparing these two teams just because you want two parades. I want two parades as well. I want 3 parades. I want 4 parades. I want 5 parades. I want 6 parades. Hell, we'll throw the Wooder Dogs in there. I want 7 parades this year. The Phillies didn't fix their issues. The Eagles fixed their issues. The Phillies ran it back. The Eagles ran some of it back and made big changes. Eagles are making major corrective actions on a season that came up short. Phillies are just on cruise control. That's how I feel. Luzardo, Kepler are both good additions. Kepler was replacing a bad idea in Austin Hayes. Okay. And he's a good, coming off an injury-prone year. So that Kepler cannot be compared to bringing in Saquon Barkley. And Luzardo was coming off a down year. And Luzardo is going to be a very good player for the Phillies. And they will make moves. But Dave Dombrowski's trade deadline the last 3 years shows that he's afraid to make the big moves. He's afraid to move on from those untouchables. He's afraid to make that drastic change to get you over the hump. If 2 parallel lines are cut by transversal, then the opposite angles are equal. Man, bringing up geometry right there. The Phillies are not far off. Hold on. Now you're backtracking. First, you're saying they are World Series champions. Now you're saying they're not far off. So what are they? Are they there or are they not? They are not far off. But they got to be not afraid to make that all-in move to shake things up and give yourself a better chance. And comparing them to the Eagles, I think, is being blind because they do not have any similarities to the Eagles. Phillies played small ball against the Dodgers instead of swinging for the fences if they're consistent with that strategy. Absolutely. 2-3 games is not going to make me, not going to change 3-4 years of bad philosophy. Yo, LeBron, take it easy with the not 1, not 2, not 3. At least somebody picked up on it, Joe. At least someone knows what I'm talking about. Thank you. Thank you. I'll give you another one. For that, here's a long shot for you. I guess we would consider international because I think he's from England. Aaron Rye is a good thing for your pool. Bet him 130 to 1. Aaron Rye in your Masters pool. Non-chalky idea there. Where's my notebook? Where's my red notebook? I don't even know where my red notebook is. Is that my red notebook? There's my red notebook. We'll get to my Masters dinner menu very soon here. All right? Yeah. Definitely give you a hint. Definitely. I got some other ones I can give you. But maybe I'll save some for the show tonight. The Phillies are World Series champions. So they are. So they're not close. It's not that they're not far off. They're World Series champions. You got to get your story right. The sentiment about the Eagles was exactly the same. No, it was completely different. Okay? Because they were close and they made the necessary major changes. They didn't run it back. They changed. They fired Brian Johnson. They fired Sean Desai. They fired Matt Patricia. Kevin Long, still here. Rob Thompson, still here. Who are the top 5 contenders for the World Series so far in 2025? Obviously, the Phillies are one of them. See, I can say that. They are a contender, but I don't want contenders. The Dodgers are still contenders, for sure. Okay? The Yankees are definitely contenders. On a side note, I was looking at this because of this question. I was looking at the standings, trying to figure out whatever, and I saw the Blue Jays in the standings. What do we think of that contract that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got? 14 years, $500 million, 26-year-old, is now the third highest paid player in baseball, I believe. Is that too much for Vlad Jr.? I mean, you got to pay the man. It's a lot of money. Baseball contracts are insane. Does Bryce Harper still want a new contract? He looks unhappy in Philly lately. No, I think Bryce Harper is one of the few Phillies taking the more business-like approach to the season like I want them to. All right? I don't think everybody's taking that business-like approach, but I think that's what Bryce Harper is. And yes, he does want an extension. Well, his agents at least trying to get him an extension. Whether he truly wants it or not, I'm not sure. My story has been exactly the same since me. I know you just threw that little comment that they're not far off. I'm just giving you a hard time. What I say, I don't flip-flop. It's okay to flip-flop. Okay? I'm almost always right. Man, that ego. Did you crack an IPA open early this morning? Did you crack open a Gelato this morning? Look, I don't think the parallels are there between the Eagles and Sixers. Other than the fact that they play in Philadelphia, and other than the fact that they lost in the championships in 2022, the teams are completely different. And I want to just remind you, flip-flopping is not a bad thing. Flip-flopping means that your opinion evolved with more data presented to you. I flip-flop all the time. When I get more data on a topic, my opinion evolves. And that's what flip-flopping is. All right? It's evolving set opinion. Phillies start a big series against the Braves tonight. Tonight? Yeah, it's tonight. Today's Tuesday. So, you got Zach Wheeler on the mound going up against Chris Sale. 1-2 in the Cy Young voting last year. Chris Sale struggled a little bit this year to start. Zach Wheeler's leader in the clubhouse for Cy Young through 2 weeks of the season. It's going to be a barn burner. Is it in Atlanta? I think we were in Atlanta. Yeah, down in Atlanta tonight. The 1-8 Atlanta Braves tonight. Who's on the DL? Acuna's on the injured list for them. Spencer Strider. Profar is obviously suspended. The Braves are ripe for the picking. Effing Garrett Crochet. Where did he end up going? I forget. Didn't everybody in Philly want him at the deadline last year? Flip-flopping is terrible. No, it's not. I love flip-flop weather. Flip-flop weather is my favorite time of the year. And let me tell you something. Flip-flopping is just evolving. We see flip-flopping in soccer and baseball. The Mahomes fellow flip-flops a lot too. That's just straight flopping. And in basketball, there's a lot of flopping on the regular basis. Would you bet your entire paycheck the Phillies win the World Series? Yeah, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see that outright ticket, that Phillies World Series ticket. I mean, I bet them. I only put $5 on them now. It's a foot on the throat type of game. 1-18. You got Zach Wheeler going. Actually, let me look at the Phillies for the entire series here. Schedule. Bum. It's Wheeler tonight against Sale, Walker against Holmes, and Luzardo against Wellenbach. Yeah, they should be able to take at least 2 or 3, if not all 3 of these games against the Braves. And you can send the Braves from 1-8 to 1-11 or 2-10 and really put that boot on throat tonight. Really make a statement. The Braves are going to come back. The Braves aren't going to be one of the worst teams in baseball. But we've got to build up because we see how great this Phillies team was through June last year. And then 500 the rest of the way. They were an average team for 3.5 months and a great team for 2.5 months last year. If I was flip-flopping burgers, I would put my whole paycheck on the Phillies winning the World Series. But I'm an adult and can't make stupid bets. That's true. That's true. Braves are not going to stay this bad. Not. No way. But you don't want them to get right against you. I think this is a letdown series. A lot of hype coming into the Dodgers series last weekend. I expect one of three, to be honest. That would be considered a Negadelphian philosophy, Joe. Don't bring that Negadelphian out. You might get crushed for that. You might. But I get it. And I believe that that's a possibility for sure. A series win speaks a lot of the NL East this early in the season. It's funny. We're told, you lose a game in April. Oh, it's no big deal. It's a long season. But if you win the series, a big deal will be made about it. Is it a long season or not? If you can keep the Braves down and out for the playoffs everyone is better off. That is true. Is there a worse city represented by fans than the Atlanta Braves fans represent? Atlanta Braves hate their own team. Braves won't stay this bad, but need to keep them down as long as possible. Absolutely agree. But I get Joe's opinion of a letdown series. You just took 2 and 3 of the Dodgers. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And you got to, I know Chris Sale hasn't been great this year so far, but Sale versus Wheeler tonight, you got to know that Zach Wheeler is going to want to put a little extra something into his outing tonight. He really believed he deserved that Cy Young last year. He did. And I think he did believe it. I think that this all-in mentality applies more to the Phillies than the Eagles. Because the Eagles are already great. The Eagles have already proven that they can get the job done. The Phillies have yet to prove that. The Phillies management has not made big, bold decisions, swing for the fences decisions like the Eagles have. The Eagles weren't afraid to fire people. The Eagles weren't afraid to spend big money on Saquon Barkley. The Phillies, on the other hand, didn't make those shakeups. Yeah, they brought in Kepler. Yeah, they brought in Luzardo. Weren't afraid to make the big, bold moves. The Phillies are. And I don't want that to be what holds this Phillies team back. I don't want. How do I say this? You're going to hold on to Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, and name the next 3 or 4 top prospects because maybe they're going to be key contributors in 2026, 2027, 2028, and going forward. Well, by that point, this World Series window that we supposedly have will be closed. We don't know what this team is going to look like 3-4 years from now. So you make the move. Dave Dombrowski in the past was not afraid to swing for the fences, but it's gotten very gun-shy in Philadelphia with those type of moves. Dave, absolutely agree. Nooms? When Dave Dombrowski came to Philadelphia, the first thing my man Jason, who lives in Detroit Tigers fan, said, say goodbye to your prospects and welcome in a big star. Because that's what Dave D does. Obviously, he's got the experience in Detroit doing that, making the big swing move for Miguel Cabrera, amongst other moves. For some reason, he's gotten gunshot. Status quo with the Phillies has been acceptable. And I don't like that. The status quo is not good enough. Again, where Howie Roseman thrives and Dave Dombrowski doesn't. The status quo in Philly with the Sixers better not stay the same. We are on day 16 of calling out Josh Harris. to do what's right and fire Daryl Morey immediately. You don't got to wait till Sunday night after the final game of the season. Finally, Sunday night is almost over. The Masters champion will be putting on a green jacket, and the Sixers season will be over. Finally. But Dave Dombrowski, or Josh Harris, needs to do what's right and clean house. And let whoever comes in, Bob Myers, whoever else, come in. And if you want to trade Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, whatever, you do it. You go all in. You don't try to tinker. Oh, well, maybe he'll be better off next year. No. You make whatever drastic moves you got to do, even if it's taking 2 steps back before you can take 1 step forward. Got to get off the pot. You got to make the big, bold moves. Status quo is not good enough in our city. Winning isn't enough in our city unless it's winning championships. The Philadelphia Flyers, we can throw them into this all in. They've acquired picks. They made one big move. They fired their coach. This is the offseason to swing for the fence. Like I said at the beginning of the season, before the NBA season started, I don't fault GMs of sports teams for making big, bold swing for the fences moves. You make the move. If it doesn't work out, at least you try. When the Knicks went out there and traded 5 first-round picks for Bridges. Yeah, it was a lot to give up for Bridges. But he went for it. Will it work out? Probably not in the playoffs. But he took a swing for the fences. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, as long as he fixes his mistakes, whatever. That's what I want. That's what I want my Phillies to do. That's what I want the Flyers to do. That's what I want the Sixers to do. Yeah, the Flyers coach did basically fire himself. Exactly. I lived in Georgia years ago. You could buy assault rifles at the pawn shop, buy beer at the gas station, and buy an alligator burger all in the same trip. That's why Atlanta doesn't care about the Braves. Yeah, look, I just go back to when they won their World Series. Was that 94? No, not 94, 95. They couldn't even sell out World Series games with Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and that elite team. When you can't sell out your stadium for the World Series, you're a bad baseball team. They have enough assets either way to bring them up or have them contribute. Sure. Either way, big, bold moves. Shocking moves. Shake up the foundation type moves. Would it suck to trade away Aiden Miller? Sure would. But if Aiden Miller gets you someone that's going to win you a World Series, I'll forget all about Aiden Miller in 2 seconds. Remember, 2 years ago, 2023, MLB trade deadline. What did I say on this show? The previous network. Some of you might not have been around. I said yes, because he was available at the trade deadline for a minute. I would trade Andrew Painter for Shohei Ohtani, even on an expiring contract. Why? Because Ohtani was still pitching then and hitting, and Ohtani would have pushed us over the top to win a World Series. Potentially. Theoretically. And yes, theoretically, we would have lost him to the Dodgers. Or maybe convinced him to stay here in Philadelphia. You take that chance. You don't pass up opportunities at generational talents. You go all in. If you're close, and the Phillies are damn close, the Eagles are damn close to repeating as Super Bowl champions. Hence why the Eagles, if a guy, Tyler Warren, whatever his name is, that Edge Sanders, go up for Abdul Carter. Go all in. Ensure yourself the best possible chance. As many chips as you can have. You want to be the chip leader at the table, at the final table of the World Series of Poker. Have as many chips as possible to win that World Series of Poker bracelet. That's what the Phillies, the Eagles, the Sixers, they need to do. Either way, they should be able to equate this into a ring, but as currently built, it's a snowball in hell. Agreed. Unless other teams get hurt. I mean, injuries, and that's why baseball now at this point, you didn't make the big bold move before the season. You're not making it on April 8th. You're going to have to wait 2 months to even consider making that kind of move for the Phillies. But when that time comes, I'm all for it. Now, I brought this all-in idea up because the NFL draft that's upcoming. But on the flip side, it does relate to all the teams in Philadelphia right now. And to get it back on football, if you think somebody at pick 10 can make the difference of going back-to-back in the Super Bowl, damn straight I'm trading 4 or 5 picks and moving up to get that player. Because how often do you have a chance to win back-to-back Super Bowls? Very rarely. Did Howie really swing for the fences last year out of Barkley and Huff? Well, that's a really big swing for the fences. Giving the kind of contract he gave to Saquon Barkley is swinging for the fences. Giving Bryce Huff a contract like he did, knowing when I said on this very show he could be a very big one-hit wonder, was a swing for the fences. He drafted back-to-back cornerbacks. He went out and got an offensive coordinator that clearly was going to be a one and done in Kellen Moore to help push the offense over the top. He wasn't afraid to fire coordinators. He wasn't afraid to put Nick Sirianni in his place and be like, yo, you got to be hands off and let Kellen Moore run his thing. Howie Roseman made a lot of swing for the fences moves, not just Barkley and Huff. There's more to it than just free agency. Traded for, brought in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It wasn't a trade. Traded him away. There was a lot more than just Barkley for that. Core 12. This is what we get for reminding Phil of his poker days. Yeah, look, I'm all in. I'm not good playing. I'm not check. All he does is slap me. He checks. He slapped me. Pay that man his money. I always remember my poker days. I miss my poker days, but I'll never get back into it again. Howie never pays running backs like that. The big swing when he realized that we needed something solid back there. Yeah. I think it was more than just players. Like Howie Roseman in charge of the Phillies would have at very least this offseason got rid of Kevin Long. Maybe Rob Thompson. At very least would have gotten rid of one of the daycare. At the very least would have found a way to eat Taijuan Walker's contract. And I know Taijuan Walker pitched really well. Great. Good for him. It's not sustainable. Howie Roseman, this Phillies team right now would look drastically different if Howie Roseman was running it. Football has so much more parity. It doesn't always require a fence swing as much as it does patience and research with the draft. Yeah. Football also is so dependent on having a great quarterback as well. Leadership-wise or playing-wise. Sorry, replacing coordinators who were not fit and relying on rookies is not a swing for the fences. No, it is. Replacing coordinators, especially with one that you know is only going to be one and done. It's a big move. Bringing in Kellen Moore. Bringing in Vic Fangio, who in theory could have clashed personality-wise with Nick Sirianni, was a big swing for the fence. Wasn't afraid to change the norm. Bringing in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a swing for the fence. Remember, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the first time he left Philly, trash talked Philly on the way out the door. There were people that remembered that, including me. And I talked about that. You brought him back. Howie Roseman would have made the Phillies a drastically different team. unlike what Dave Dombrowski did or didn't do. Mike Trout is hitting below the Mendoza line. We could trade for him on a cheap price. Everyone's on. I think the Mike Trout train has finally gone away. I don't think there's anybody that wants him now and his contract, other than maybe to sell some tickets and jerseys. I never wanted Mike Trout on the Phillies anyway. Bill looking like Doyle Brunson in that blazer. Yeah, I walk around limping like Doyle Brunson used to. Good old Texas Dolly. Most people don't know Doyle Brunson was a Division I college basketball player. He was a talented athlete before he got hurt and took to the poker table. So Doyle Brunson was an elite athlete. Little side note there, if you don't know that already. K1, you came up earlier in the show before you were commenting. Don't know if you saw it. Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, someone potentially the Eagles could get. Would you become that? Would you become a new Kenny G fan, or will you always be loyal to the original Kenny G in Philadelphia? Would I trade Embiid for Trout? One injured player for another. Sure, why not? You have to try to trade Embiid. You got to go all in and find whatever way is necessary to get off an Embiid and get off of Paul George, no matter what it costs. And that's where going all in, what's that, 6 days, Sunday, and firing Daryl Morey, firing Nick Nurse happens. Honestly, you don't have to wait. You can fire them both right now. Josh Harris probably don't even know the Sixers season is almost over. Phil sounding slightly like Daniel Ngannou this morning. What's wrong with that? The dude's worth millions and millions of dollars. Daniel Nganou's a legend. One of the 10 greatest poker players of all time. Maybe one of the 5 best poker players. One of the best 5 tournament poker players of all time. Sure. What's wrong with that? Guys, you're watching Trading the AM. We're at the top of the hour here on the STT Sports Network. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get it going. It is also Masters Week. Tonight is the always famous Masters Champion Dinner, where the only way to get into this dinner tonight is to be a former Masters champion. You're not even allowed to bring your wives and girlfriends. You go solely alone and only dine with former Masters champions. And last year's champion, the defending champion, creates the menu, whatever you want. And they find a way to create the recipe and the menu to your specifications. So I came up with a little fun. I came up with my dinner menu if I was a Masters champion, and I want to share it with you guys. I want to see what you think, what you make of what my dinner menu at the Masters would look like. And Bede loved Southern Cal. They make the best Shirley Temples in the world. I see. For the is that the owner of Detroit or who? What? I don't even know who that is, Wayne. So no hookers. Oh my God. Yeah, we're not doing hookers at dinner tonight for the Masters. But this is how the Masters menu, I just kind of dubbed over it with my own thing. The appetizer buffet would have a massive charcuterie board with lots of cheeses and salamis and different things like that. There would be a little bruschetta bar. You have to have a raw bar with plenty of sushi and raw oysters. Have to. And, of course, the first sit-down course, you'd all get a cup of Italian wedding soup and a Caesar salad. That would be the first where my Italian. Do they ever make a crap dinner in spite? No. But it's funny, depending on who wins, like how fancy it is. Like I remember when Tiger Woods won in 97. He was like 20 years old, 21 years old. Young kid, winning for the first time. His Masters dinner the next year was like fried chicken and hot dogs. And then the next time he won it, it was like filet mignon and tuna. It was like surf and turf. So it's funny to watch what these dinner menus look like based off the champions. Normally, there's a lot of heritage in it, as well. The Marlins Dolphins owner, the Latino. Okay, gotcha. What would John Daly make? It would be a Miller Lite tower, basically. Cigarettes and Miller Lite would be all that would be on John Daly's menu for sure. My entrees would have to be beef Wellington. I love a good beef Wellington, or a good rare seared ahi tuna with some wasabi, mashed potatoes. You get your choice on entree, and then of course we'd find my grandma's secret recipe for homemade cannolis, and I'd make them follow her recipe to a T for the dessert. And we'd have a cannoli tower of cannolis. Side note, my wedding, we didn't have a regular wedding cake. We had a tower with cannolis on it from Maria's in Ridley. That was my wedding cake. Because who doesn't like a Maria's cannoli? Or a birthday cake from Maria's, too. Their cream icing is awesome. So this is my master's dinner menu. Joe, I know you were looking at this. What would you put on if you are feeding a select group of 30 individuals approximately, 25, 30 guys, and you wanted to show off your personality the most? What would you do? Sixers were so bad they caused Romp to go Phillies talk with Romp. What? I don't even know what that means either. Won't lie. Not sure what that means. But what would be on your master's dinner menu? Am I close? Am I intriguing you with my dinner menu? Do you like my dinner menu? Just playing with some different background colors there. I didn't even know they closed. Damn. They used to be right over there by the library on McDade Boulevard, right? So many birthday cakes for me came from there. And my wedding cake came from there. So, yeah, pretty amazing. My knees are getting too old for basketball. I need to start taking up golf as a hobby. Well, this is a week to get into golf. The purest form of golf is at the Masters this weekend. There's nothing better than the Masters. There's just not. We'll go that way for the next little bit here before I take my dinner menu. Oh, sorry. I don't know who Romp is. Sorry. But the Sixers are pretty bad. I tried to watch 2 or 3 minutes of it last night just because I was channel surfing, didn't feel like watching anything. And it was so bad. And when it comes to the Sixers, I'm all in. I'm all in on embracing the process 2.0. I'm all in on doing whatever is necessary to move Embiid, to move Paul George. If it means we get pick 5 and we package pick 5 with Embiid and still get something back in return, obviously, I'm doing it. I'll take 5 and Embiid for 15. Gets me off of that. However you can get rid of Paul George, you do it. Again, in theory, I'd consider Maxey for the right package because you'll need to take not just 2 steps back, probably 4 or 5 steps back before you can even remotely consider taking a step forward. That's the whitest, most English menu ever. Dude, spice it. Dude, I'm an Italian. What would you expect on my menu? A charcuterie board and bruschetta. It's like basically a chopped down impasto. That's like every holiday in my household. The oysters and sushi. I love raw oysters. Okay? And yes. The beef Wellington and tuna, yeah, that's probably the white. But the cannolis, that's like my heritage right there. Did you expect me to be like a Southern fried chicken menu here? Like, did you expect like a Latin flair on my menu? The point of it's to show my personality. Obviously, my personality is the whitest, most English thing ever. That menu is whiter than Friends and the Brady Bunch combined. All right, what did you expect? Okay? I don't even see Embiid and George on the bench during Sixers games. Yeah, like, I think they've popped their heads out occasionally. It is golf, after all. That's true. That is true. Yeah, sure, you can put that charcuterie board. Can have any. A charcuterie board is so wide open. You can put long hots. I love long hots. You stuff them with a little bit of cheese. roast them on an open flame. Damn straight. Put them on the board. The comments are hilarious. Weird, but hilarious. Like, what do you want on my menu? You want me to put something on my menu I don't like? You want me to put something on my menu that doesn't reflect me, the person? Look, I'm the whitest white boy Italian there is out there. What do you expect me to put? Oh, don't say that, Joe. Don't compare me to Daryl Morey. I'm not a loser. I'm not a bum. I'm not an overhyped man. People trust me, unlike Daryl Morey. This is a damn good menu. Absolutely. That could be on a charcuterie board, could be anything. It's just meat, cheeses, and peppers and vegetables and fruits. I do not like clams. It's the one shellfish I do not like clams. I'll do oysters. I'll do sushi. I'll do mussels. I'll do shrimp. I don't do clams for some reason. Something about clams I think it's the smell of them. I just don't like them. Tony Soprano isn't even showing up if cannolis and pasta isn't on the menu. Well, we got the cannolis. We got Italian wedding soup. We got plenty of Italian on this menu. At least put some. I thought about some pastas on there. I'm a big tuna guy. I love seared tuna, especially if it's fresh. I thought about going with a pasta course. But get one of those big cheese things where they cook the pasta in the cheese wheel. I considered one of those. You can add that to the charcuterie board. Why not? I thought about putting pierogies on there. But man, it would get even whiter if I did that. Seriously. Man, you guys hate on a beautiful dinner menu. Handcrafted by the finest chefs around for your pleasure. Well, none of you would be there because I'm the only one that's got a green jacket. I'm the only Masters champion here on this show. So I'm the only one that would get to be at this dinner. So why am I worried about what you guys like about my dinner menu or not? You are not it. I am not an artichoke fan, honestly, either. Artichokes are like Brussels sprouts to me. If you put enough bacon and garlic in them when you cook them, they're manageable. But just plain artichokes, if they're not done well enough or fancy enough, are just too plain for me. That's my opinion. I never said you were invited. You are not this is the Masters Champions dinner. The only way you go to this dinner is by being a Masters champion. Big Al, do you even know what a 5-wood is versus a 6-wood? Come on. Your opinions matter, just not on my dinner menu. My dinner menu is my dinner menu. This show is for the people, but my dinner menu is mine. Stuffed log hots with sausage and sharp, absolutely. Bring that on all day. I actually like to do, I typically do at least once or twice a summer. Big Al. I do stuffed poblanos. Cheese, sausage, stuff it in a poblano, wrap the poblano in pepper and bacon, and then throw that sucker on the grill. It's one of my classic go-tos. I'll do that and then some crab legs. Just have a little feast on my patio. A spicy turmeric mussel tomatoes with bisque. Sure. If you had your dinner menu, sure. If I had a 5-wood, my wife would. Oh man, that's something right there. That's something. Yeah, I love my stuffed poblanos. Takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to do them. That's why I only do them once or twice a year. Because cutting them, cleaning them, stuffing them, wrapping them in bacon. It's a process. Broccoli rabe with garlic and oil. Yeah, I could deal with or without. Like I like good broccoli rabe, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. Not my favorite thing in the world. All right, we can take this off here. We can take my menu off because you guys hate my menu. You're all not invited to Christmas dinner. Well, no, Easter dinner. That's next. Right? What's that? We're 12 days away from Easter. But yeah, the board needs a nice roasted long hots and pickled peppers to give it a kick. Oh, they'll be on my board. You're just using the board. You're assuming I'm not going to have good things on my board. My board's going to be loaded. My board's going to have specialty stuff nonstop. No gourmet cheesesteaks. I thought about putting cheesesteaks on to show my hometown heritage. I thought about like cheesesteak egg rolls on my board. I do like a good cheesesteak egg roll. If done right, nice and crispy. You get a nice spicy ketchup to dip them in. Put a little sriracha in your ketchup. Just mix it up. Pretty simple stuff. I did think about that. I did. A little hometown Philly cheesesteak stuff. We could do cheesesteak sliders maybe on the board. Show off Philly a little bit. All right. I guess in theory that could happen. But that's it. I'm a little disappointed, you guys. How much you hating on my board? You're hating my all-in and trading up for the draft. You're hating on my Phillies takes, and you're hating on my dinner menu. God, what are you guys going to think about my Masters betting card then? It'll be on there. It'll be on there. Cheesesteak egg rolls. Just offend 3 different nations. Okay. Philly. That's because Philadelphia is its own nation. Egg rolls. That insult. What other nation is it? Who's the third nation? Look, if done right, they're good. You can't really do cheesesteaks on an appetizer board. You kind of need to do something on an appetizer so a cheesesteak egg roll makes it a little easier appetizer-wise. From the TJ Wheelhands. Whatever. I mean, blame me. I am the whitest white boy, okay? I would have a Mike and Emma's cheesesteak and a Gaetano's pizza. Sure. I mean, that's you. Me? No. Next, we're going to hate on your Daryl Morey takes. You're going to hate on the fact that Daryl Morey's an idiot and needs to be fired. I appreciate Nooms and everybody else calling out the idiots and nitwits that are calling me out for now day 16 of calling out Daryl Morey to be fired. Calling out Josh Harris. Saw a video of the traditions at the Masters almost gave Disney World vibes. No phones, no running, no yelling. Announcers. Look, I saw a story online yesterday. You get put into a lottery for the rights to buy Masters tickets. And you are not allowed to resell those Masters tickets on a secondary market. And if you do, and they find out, you're banned for life. Okay? And this guy won Masters tickets. And he did not put them for sale. But somebody created a fake account in his name and said that they had Masters tickets. So they revoked his tickets. And he's got plane tickets. He's got a hotel room. He's got the whole shebang. And he can't get a hold of anybody to fight or appeal his case. Like the things that go on at the Masters, the tradition, the vibes, it's special. And I apply every single year to be put in that lottery just to win the right to buy the tickets. And I would buy them, and I would drop a pretty penny to go walk around the Masters grounds. Even if it was just a practice round, Joe. To be there would be something special. If you take egg rolls, you might as well put some pizza rolls on there and call it a day. Thanks. Because we all know pizza rolls is the crappiest fried pierogi ever. That's true. That is true. Good morning, Reality Check. What's up, my man? Hope you are well today. A tradition like none other. That's why they say a tradition like none other. The Masters is a special, to me, Thursday at the Masters is better than the first Thursday of March Madness. Sunday at the Masters is better than the Final Four. The Masters is the only event that comes close to the feeling of a World Series Game 7 or a Super Bowl to me. I love the Masters. That's why my budget for gambling nearly doubles Masters Week. This year, because I've had so much success, it is doubled. My wife makes good Thai lettuce wraps. I don't do. Why? We don't need lettuce wraps. Come on, we're not that healthy. I'm worried the Eagles won't make it to the White House for the Super Bowl ceremony. They too busy starting nuclear war. So, yeah. Sorry, Viet style lettuce wraps. Got it. There was a good Thai restaurant that was in Kennett that unfortunately the owner passed away and somebody else just took it over. I wonder if it's as good. Who am I putting money on? The best bet to win the Masters is Collin Morikawa. It's going to be one of the most bet guys this week. All the stats say it. Everything backs it up. Now, I'll give you out 4, 5, 6 names tonight that could contend. That's worth a few bucks. But 40% of my betting dollars have been laid on Collin Morikawa. Just so you know. My single biggest non-free bet I've ever bet. Depending on which sports books, I got DraftKings and Fanatics. I got him at 18-1. I think he's dropped to 16-1 on most places. Seen some people as low as 14-1 on him. Collin Morikawa will win the Masters. He will be putting on the green jacket and become a 3-time major champion on Sunday. I remind you that the Masters didn't allow women in clubhouses until the 80s. They didn't allow. Oh, I absolutely know. Their traditions are stark or deep rooted in racism. Absolutely. The clubhouse and the club is terrible, but the golf tournament is special. There's no doubting that they are some of the club members. They're not the professional golfers. The people that are actually club members there that play there every week are some of the oldest racist white people in the world. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Oh, I won't doubt that at all. No? Okay. All right. So we're learning about the personal lives there. Anyway, guys, we're coming up to the final 5 minutes today. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Please tune in tonight. Please. I'd appreciate it. Collin been a bit of a choke artist come Sunday. Man can play from Thursday, Saturday. Maybe he could join Liv and compete 3 days. No. I get what you're saying about Collin, but Sunday at the Masters is different than any other event. And Collin knows the grounds here. 3 straight top 10s at the Masters. Best ball striker, tee to green player on tour right now. Collin Morikawa is winning the Masters. Lock solid bet right there. Rory completes the Grand Slam. That was my pick before he won the Players' Championship. It was. I don't think he does it now. You got a good one. Okay, I just cut a C note on him. It better hit or I'm coming for that jacket. Yeah. Nothing quite like betting golf. I won't lie. Betting golf is the best. 4 days of sweating it. I've got 10 lineups already built DFS-wise. I got 6 outright bets. And I got a fun little, we'll give out my pizza parlay where I parlayed someone to finish top 5, top 10, and top 20. Pays over 60-1. I got myself some things. Still got to come up with my first round leader bets. Still working on my entire card. But that's why we got Fairway to Heaven tonight. 6 p.m. right here on this channel. Tomorrow night on this channel, joining Philly Press Box Radio will be Bob Cooney. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. Guys, STT Sports Network, churning it out. Churning out the great content. It's the only place where I can get called an idiot on a regular basis by all my listeners, but they still all tune in. Where I can get crushed regularly, and they all still tune in. And I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Phillies tonight. Braves. Zach Wheeler versus Chris Sale. Final predictions on that before we wrap this show up. I think Zach Wheeler is going to go out there. I do understand the letdown in the series, but I think they go out and get the win tonight. And then maybe if there's a letdown, it's game 2, game 3. But I think the Phillies go out tonight, and Zach Wheeler dominates Chris Sale. I'm going another low-scoring event, though. Low-scoring game. I got the Phillies winning tonight 3-2. Zach Wheeler's going to go 7, give up 1 run. And the Phillies are going to win 3-2. Zach Wheeler gets the W. That's that. That's what I got on tonight's Phillies game. But again, stay tuned tonight. Fairway to Heaven. Also, ES Golf, Elise, one of the best in the gambling world on golf. She'll be joining us as well tonight. So you're not going to want to miss her takes on the Masters tonight. Guys, it's going to be it's Masters week. Hey, I can't wait to take this jacket off. But Maury doesn't get fired again. You don't think Morey's going to get fired? Like seriously, like what kind of nitwit would Josh Harris have to be to leave Daryl Morey in power for another season? I mean, it could happen. And boy, let me tell you something. If I'm still doing my day whatever and Josh Harris comes out and gives Daryl Morey the vote of confidence, those videos are going to change. And they're going to be Josh Harris videos. Let me tell you something. Hanging out with racist old people and passive-aggressive comments amuses me. I love being that. Oh, man. Anyway, so with that being said, guys, I guess it's time to call it a morning. Go top off my coffee. Got a lot of work to do at the pizza shop today. I do. It's day 187. I will not make it to day 187. I have a feeling I'll make it to about 30 days before I quit. And I come up with something else to do. All right? As a Philly, Zach Wheeler has only had 2 bad games versus Atlanta, if you want to consider that bad. Didn't even look at his numbers against Atlanta, but I could believe you on that. I could believe you on that, for sure. But anyway, guys, with that being said, it's time to wrap this up live, 6 p.m. tonight. I'll be doing the show live from the pizza shop, Fox's Pizza in Kent Square. Come on out. Be doing that live tonight, 6 p.m. We'll be back tomorrow. Not sure what angle I will take tomorrow, but we'll be back tomorrow. And we will be talking Philadelphia sports. And we will be talking Zach Wheeler. And we will be talking the Phillies. And we'll be talking the Eagles. Haven't run a mock draft 3.0 in a long time. So maybe we run a mock draft. I don't know. We'll see. But guys, with that being said, everybody have a great day. The bet is in. The fix is in. How about that? Everybody have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Right here. Like, share, subscribe. You watch on replay. Comment. I read all of them. Eric O'Vouch. Replay gang is always in full effect. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Bundle up. It's cold out there, Philadelphia. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Birds. Bubbles up.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.